It was going YouTube channel starts down again, y'all. Go hard or go home channel. All right, guys, I'm gonna be watching today Dr. Orion Taraban, okay? We're gonna talk about what men don't understand about female selection, okay? Some guys think just because you're gonna get money, because you get money, you're gonna get women. That's not the truth, all right? I said this several times, but the thing of it is the thing with getting the money is very important. Not just for getting women, mostly for you. This man's gonna go over some stuff like this in this 10-minute video here, okay? Some of the key things I think a person should take away from this video if you want the guy to be watching my channels normally, okay? Hypergamy is not gonna just win for you. It's a good thing, but it's not gonna win the game for you, all right? What's best for you as far as doing this, okay? And also some things that are not good for you as far as doing this, all right? So I'm gonna be talking about this a little bit in there. So before we get in that, y'all hit like, subscribe, share. Thank y'all very much for all the people I'm getting now on the road to 600. So y'all keep hitting that button for me. Thank y'all very much. I don't do cash apps, I don't do none of that stuff. To support the channel, I do likes and subscribes and shares. That's it. And drop in your comments and let me know what's going on with it. So we'll talk about it more at the end. We're gonna get to hearing what Dr. O'Brien is gonna say about this. Orion Taraban is gonna say about this right now. All right, here we go.
I'm Dr. Orion Taraban, and this is PsycHacks, Better Living Through Psychology. And the topic of today's short talk is what men don't understand about female selection. So, thanks to the internet, there has been an explosion of awareness on this topic in recent years. And this has afforded the current generation a uniquely privileged position to understand female mating and dating behavior more clearly and precisely than ever before. The quantity and quality of information available on the subject just weren't available to men even 10 years ago. And while some of this information can be a bitter pill to swallow, I hold that it is ultimately of benefit to both men and women that it is now more widely known.
I can agree.
One of the most important concepts in this cache of information is hypergamy, the tendency to mate and date up, to choose men who, for example, are taller, stronger, richer, and higher status. Hypergamy influences almost every aspect of female sexual selection, and it has a number of significant downstream consequences, so it's really, really important to understand this concept. Unfortunately, there are two common ways in which the concept is misunderstood by men, and I want to address these in today's talk.
All right.
So, let's get to it. The two misunderstandings roughly correspond to the two general reactions men seem to have in response to learning about the reality of hypergamy. The first is the most prevalent, as it unfortunately corresponds to the more common reaction of men. Basically, when a lot of men, especially young men, learn about women's sexual selection criteria, they get really discouraged. They hear that women are only interested in the top 10% of men. They consider, well, they weren't in the top 10% of men in high school or in college or in young adulthood, and they inappropriately conclude, A, that they could never enter into those upper echelons, or B, that even if they could, the payoff wouldn't be worth the time and effort required, i.e., the juice isn't worth the squeeze.
Okay, now what he just described is the loser guys. Okay, that's what's different about my channel now. I don't go on there and say that those guys are winners or they're smart. No, they're fucking losers. What he just described was a loser. Because it's somebody who got a little bit of information and quit before they even tried. And they didn't even try in a situation that was still going to turn out good for them, because as he goes on, he goes to telling you the situation is still going to turn out good for you. So I mean, it don't really matter. It doesn't really matter. So let's go ahead and listen. But he just described the losers. Those are going to be the losers, and now he's going to tell you about the winners. So let's pay attention.
They look at themselves, think, well, I don't have anything a woman is really going to want, and conclude, why bother? And on some level, it's like, fair enough. Dating is not symmetrical. Men initiate the vast majority of interactions, so men disproportionately experience more rejection than women do on the front end. And women terminate the vast majority of relationships, so men disproportionately experience more rejection than women do on the back end. And this rejection can be painful on a number of different dimensions. These men may be rashly concluding that a high-risk, low-reward endeavor doesn't make sense for them.
No. Now, the science of it sounds nice, but you getting money shouldn't be about women in the first place. So it shouldn't be about you getting that result. That's why I'm making this video. It shouldn't be about you getting that result. The money should be about you getting the money, which is the next thing he's going to explain after he gets done talking about these losers. But I'm just saying, don't be the loser. Be this other guy he's about to describe.
If we were talking about investing their money, we would call this decision prudent, and no one would have a problem with it. On the other hand, lots of people seem to have a problem with the same decision being made about women. These men need to grow up, man up, stop sniveling, and frankly...
Yes, that's what I think also. And the reason why I think that is because, here's the thing, if you're making some type of financial deal or some type of business deal, those things conform to rules. As long as the money's on this side of the table and the property's on that side of the table and those two things exchange, it was a good deal. And it's going to always be that way. Women don't conform to rules. Just because you checked all of their boxes off doesn't mean you're going to get them. Their mind changed like prostitutes change boyfriends. Okay? And you got to understand that. And if you can't, you're going to wind up turning into one of these whiny-ass crybabies he's talking about right now.
Fall in line. This is hardly fair and would likely make a good topic for a future video. However, my point here is that these men misunderstand the payoff of hypergamy. After all the time and effort expended to
Here he goes. Now he's about to tell you about how to win.
Align with the criteria of hypergamy, the payoff is not that a woman has ultimately provided security and material resources, or even that a man is offered sex and a relationship. The payoff is the growth and prosperity that redound to the man as a result. What does this mean? Well, a top 10% man can only indirectly benefit a woman, and then only if she can acquire and maintain access to the man. However, a top 10% man directly benefits himself. He directly benefits from being stronger and wealthier and higher status. These things are primarily good for him and at best only secondarily good for others. Even if much of his wealth and status are stripped from him by a divorce or a breakup, which can certainly happen in today's society, he remains the source of that value, and he became the source of that value in the transformational process of becoming a top 10% man.
This is where you get, this is the reason why you got the rich guys not afraid to get married and not have a prenup, because they'll just get the money back. So what, I had to give her half of it. I'm just going to get it back because I know how to get the money anyway. They'll have her jump and go on. That's why they don't have the same fear. The other guys don't. They if she get a bunch from them, she hurt them. They probably don't know how to get it back, and they probably spend a bunch of time getting that too. So it's a whole different thing.
So this is the first misunderstanding about hypergamy, that it primarily benefits women. It doesn't. It primarily benefits men and can only indirectly benefit women, namely if a man chooses to bestow the benefit upon her.
Yeah.
Now, before I'm going any further, if you're liking what you're hearing, please consider sending this episode to someone who might benefit from its message, because it's word-of-mouth referrals like this that really help to make the channel grow.
Yeah.
You may also consider hitting the super thanks button, those three little dots in the lower right-hand corner, and tip me in proportion to the value you feel you've received from this episode.
I don't want no tip, but if you'll do the word of mouth thing for me, I appreciate that. You can go tip him. He did give me a thing if you want to tip somebody.
It's your donations that make all this happen, and I really appreciate your support.
Johnson, why are you naked? Because my t-shirt sucks. Look at Gibson. He's wearing a true classic tee. It fits his...
Now, not all men get discouraged upon learning about the realities of hypergamy. Mm-hmm. On the contrary, a smaller subset of men get fired up. These guys are...
Now, these are the guys I'm trying to get to on the channel. If you want this type of guy right here, he's about to explain that fires you up. Okay, all I got to do is get right here, and then I can... Okay, yeah, let's listen.
Energized by what they see as a viable path forward. They think, fantastic, with this information, I can kind of hack the game. I can analyze what really works with respect to mating and dating, and I believe that I can bring myself in alignment with female selection preferences. I can get rich, I can get fit, I can get smooth. Let's go out there and get this bread. And in many respects, this is an adaptive response because, as stated previously, all of these things benefit directly the man in question. However, in my opinion, this is where men are often, shall we say, deceived. Because the fact of the matter is that women don't actually give sex in relationships to men simply as a consequence of men meeting their selection criteria.
They don't conform to rules.
The idea that doing behavior X will solve problem Y is a masculine problem-solving strategy projected into women.
Because they don't doggone conform to rules. With guys, it's pretty simple. If she's pretty, she cooks your food, and she's nice to you, you're gonna like her. You can check all the women's boxes and still might be no. They got a bunch of junk on. They don't conform to rules. He's explaining that now.
Men hear that women want a guy with a six-pack and a six-figure income, and they think, great, if I get these things, if I'm finally what women want, then that means that women will reward me with sex and relationships. It's the same mentality that believes, okay, if I buy her a drink and listen to her problems and show my value, then she will reward me with sex at the end of the date, writ large. And the disappointing reality is that this is not the case. Sure, all other things being equal, a woman is more likely to choose a guy with a six-pack and a six-figure income over a guy that doesn't have those things. But it's not true that the vast majority of women will choose a guy just because he has a six-pack and a six-figure income.
Right.
These things might make it easier for a guy to get his foot in the door, but it's better to consider meeting women's hypergamous criteria as a necessary but insufficient condition of sexual opportunity.
Yeah.
Unless you are like world famous, women aren't going to be lining up to date you. Even if you have all of the things that hypergamy says that women are looking for. A good-looking brain surgeon can drink at the bar by himself all night. And this is because, despite the fact that the man may have worked 10 to 20 years to meet women's hypergamous criteria, he has to start from scratch with every new woman he meets.
Because they don't know you. See, it's one thing when they can see you and it's known. Like you just said, somebody world famous. Like, this is why rappers and actors and rock stars and stuff like that and get so many women. Politicians, all that stuff, because everybody already knows. But you might be on a good level too, but they don't know. I say it's not just the women. It's like I'm on a pretty decent level, but I got guys that come on my channel and be like, "You can't say that. You're not a millionaire." I'm not, but I'm way better off than a lot of other people. But they don't know. Those guys don't know. So when people don't know, they're gonna treat you like you're at the bottom. So you got to start off at the bottom every time, like he's talking. So let's let him finish.
Like, he could be a successful, handsome, eligible bachelor who has worked hard for years to earn his social proof and status, and he will still have to start at square one, which for a lot of women means convincing them that he's not a serial killer. Like,
wow, there you go.
83% of these animals show signs.
Can you imagine a job interview 20 years into your career in which the interaction begins with the default assumption that you're a fraudulent embezzler until proven otherwise? And this is what happens with women. They have to feel safe. They have to feel heard. They have to feel like you're attracted to more than their bodies, etc. And if you say one thing that they don't like too early in the interaction, poof, the opportunity vanishes in an instant. And while it's true that the more a woman is attracted to you, the easier this process becomes, you don't get to bypass this process just because you've got biceps in a bank account.
Yep.
Indeed, you have to begin with women right where you would have if you hadn't spent 10 or 20 years building your status and lifestyle, namely at 0.
Yep.
And if you spent all that time on your abs and income and you never learned how to seduce a woman, you're probably not going to get as far as the guy who spent a year learning how to seduce a woman and has neither the abs nor the income.
Yeah.
Meeting women's hypergamous criteria, unfortunately, is not the silver bullet that many men hope it will be. Most of these criteria are what I call attraction proxies. The idea here is that you can have all the markers of a high-status man, and it's still not going to be easy with women. You will still have to approach and make an effort and seduce effectively. This doesn't change if you're in the top 10%. It may change if you're in the top 0.001%. I'm not sure. I'm not there yet. But it definitely doesn't change in the top 10%. Being a high-value man does not lead to effortless sexual opportunity. And that's a bitter pill to swallow.
Yeah.
You could be a neurosurgeon underwear model who makes 7 figures a year and shelters abandoned puppies. And the woman is still going to ask herself questions like,
does he remember the day we met? Did he open the door for me? How do I feel when I'm with him? Does he make me laugh? Does he look at other girls? Will our kids' hands look funny?
etc. Behind the hypergamous criteria of the female sex is an almost endless list of personal criteria of an individual woman. Failure to meet any one of which is subject to removing the sexual opportunity, no matter how many other criteria are met. So this is the second misconception about hypergamy.
Now like you just said, I said it before, you can check all the boxes and it still don't happen. It's just something guys have to know. That's why you gotta just grow up. Just be like, okay, it's like this. And it makes it a lot easier. Let's let them finish and get out of here for the day.
Meeting hypergamy's criteria does not guarantee sexual opportunity. Interestingly, both of these misconceptions tend to have the same outcome. Namely, they generally motivate men to walk away from women. And that's certainly what we're seeing more and more of today. What do you think? Does this fit with your own experience? Let me know in the comments below. And if you've gotten this far, you might as well like this episode and subscribe to this channel. You may also consider becoming a channel member with perks like priority review of comments or booking a paid consultation. As always, thank you for listening.
Okay, so everybody heard what the man had to say, you know, and he's right about pretty much all of it. So, and it's the same things that I was explaining. So what I say to guys is like, you know, it's better, like he was saying in this video, for you to go get the money and stuff because you're going to benefit from that in the end. Somewhere along there, you'll learn talking with women and stuff like that, especially if you're developing like people skills and stuff like that, because you got to develop those towards getting to some of this money and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's not going to just, it'll get you in the door. It won't win the game for you, but it's actually better for you in the long run either way, because you're going to have more, like he said in the video. So y'all drop the comments and y'all let me know what y'all think, okay? And y'all hit like, subscribe, share, like he was saying, you know, I made this far. Just go on here, hit the like, subscribe button. But I don't do the cash apps and stuff, and I don't want the tips and junk. But just drop the subscriptions, the likes, and do the word of mouth for me if you want to help out the channel. You think it's a good thing, and y'all drop in the comments and let me know what y'all thought about this. Let's talk about it. But this been Taurus down to y'all, the Go Hard or Go Home channel. And I'm out of here on this one. Peace.